Hello everyone, this is Erik, the Asian movie enthusiast, and this is my review of Ransomed, a Korean thriller action hybrid from 2023 that stars Jung-woo and Ji-hoon. It was directed by Kim Seong-hun, who previously gave us A Hard Day and multiple episodes of the Kingdom television series, so this director's good. Now, the following plot synopsis was taken from the website Blood Brothers. Lee Min-jun, played by Jung-woo, is a budding diplomat who is trying his hardest to be someone. When everyone and everything seems to be working against him and his desires, one day he receives a life-changing call. A fellow Korean diplomat is being held hostage in Beirut, Lebanon, from the war that had broken out 2 years prior in 1986. Seizing the opportunity to finally get his big break, Lee heads deep into the country on a highly intense mission with a large bag of ransom money. Now, when he arrives, things go as wrong as one could imagine, and he's thrust deep into a large-scale shootout and ultimately a run for his life. He happens upon a man in a taxi named Kim Seong-hun, played by Ji-hoon, coincidentally a man of Korean heritage, and one with deep ties to Lebanon. Now, after hearing the plot synopsis, you may think to yourself, wait a minute, didn't Erik review this movie already? Back in the day, maybe a year or two ago? I distinctly remember Erik reviewing a movie about Korean diplomats who went overseas to rectify kidnappings and other political conflicts. Actually, that was The Point Men from 2023, which was set in Afghanistan. And it was also Escape from Mogadishu from 2021, which was set in Somalia. And I was wondering to myself, is this like a new subgenre of Korean film that's kind of emerging over the past few years? And if so, I have been especially pleased with these titles. I have enjoyed them, and they have been consistently entertaining. Now, Ransomed is set during the late 1980s, and we actually see the kidnapping occur immediately. And then we cut to Jung-woo, who's just been passed over for promotion due to a younger man having better connections with his superiors. Now, our protagonist here is kind of an angry guy. He's angry about his lack of promotion. He goes so far as to wait until the end of work when everyone is left, and he walks over to this man's desk and destroys the fresh bouquet of roses that are on it. So he's quite spiteful. But his moment of frustration has a benefit. So he's the one who takes the phone call from this hostage because he was the only one who was left in the office. So it's actually kind of a blackly humorous type context when you think about it. And when he takes the call, he tells his superiors, and then he tries to use it as leverage to get his promotion and a transfer. Now, our protagonist, not the nicest guy at the beginning of the movie, quite opportunistic and selfish, but as we all know, there will probably be a character arc, right? The runtime of Ransomed is over 2 full hours. I do feel that the opening half hour is on the slow side. You get multiple meetings between various intelligence personnel as they come up with a game plan for the hostage situation. They probably could have cut a few of those scenes down a little bit. The story and the characters are pretty basic as well. Nothing too complex or interesting in this film, but the two leads are likable, despite their acts of selfishness early on. And they both have their moral dilemmas, we'll just say that much. But I did like the character arcs, and they do develop a mutual respect for one another by the end of the film. And both actors get fine performances. Now, things do become a little bit more intriguing when there are Lebanese locals who find out about this upcoming hostage transaction, and they want to use that situation to get some money of their own. And this kind of makes an already dangerous situation even more dangerous. Which brings us to the action. There's a pretty good foot chase in an airport early on. There are a few other brief shootouts, explosions, and chases before the midpoint, but nothing that I would really classify as a memorable set piece. There are almost no sustained sequences of excitement within this film. Everything is basically like slower burn suspense, supplemented with quick bursts of gun shooting and chases. But they don't last very long, the action beats. The only true exception to this, I think, is the big shootout car chase during the final act. So do not go into this film expecting like big action scenes, for the most part. When faced with danger, our protagonists try to escape danger or defend themselves as necessary. And that's why I kind of classified this film as a thriller-action hybrid instead of a straight-up action movie. But, with that said, the thrills are good enough. Now, I did some research regarding filming locations, because anytime I see an Asian movie of any kind that's set in a different country, I want to know where it was actually filmed, because in a lot of cases, it's not filmed in the country it's set in, and such is the case for this one. The plot is set in Lebanon, but the filming location is Morocco, according to IMDb. So there is a little bit of a lack of authenticity in that regard, but I'm unfamiliar with Lebanese laws in regard to a foreign country like Korea shooting a film of this scale, because it still is a pretty big scale film. Just something to keep in mind, though, as you watch it. It's, the sites that you're seeing are Morocco, not Lebanon. But with all that said, I did enjoy Ransomed, and I do recommend it. It's an entertaining movie with a solid cast. I think the length and some spotty pacing issues do prevent it from being quite as entertaining or as purely entertaining as something like Escape from Mogadishu or even The Point Man. But it's a good flick, and it's currently available streaming on YouTube and Amazon. Although I have been having problems with Amazon streaming lately with missing subtitles on newer movies. I'm not sure what the deal is. So, you may want to try the YouTube version of this. And as always, folks, I'll see you next time.